You may or may not be surprised of some of the dumb shit that bands do when you're just walking around and recording them. How's it going, creeps? Welcome back to Cinema Creep. Cinema Creep is a place where we discuss, dissect, and review all things vile, disgusting, and downright terrifying in the world of horror cinema. If you know me, then you know that I love black metal music, and yes, that includes the shitty black metal bands too. Something about dudes in corpse paint recording with the shittiest equipment they can find, it just feels right. It just lulls me straight to sleep. I love it. So naturally, anytime there is a horror film that is released that is about metal, it is a must-watch for me. So naturally, Invoking Yell from 2023, directed by Patricio Valadares, found its way onto my watch list. This movie follows three young Chilean women who venture out into the woods to record their demo tape for their black metal band called Invoking Yell. And I know what you're thinking, it sounds sick, right? Yeah, I thought so too, because on the surface it has all the elements of something that could potentially truly be a horror masterpiece. Black metal, found footage, the occult. But listen, I'm just going to go ahead and say it and try not to waste so much of your time. This movie fucking sucked. There, I feel better. I'm not going to lie to you, and I want my $5 I paid to rent it back. I will, however, say not everything was bad about the movie. There were some truly cool parts, but they were hugely outweighed by all the dumb shit the filmmakers decided to do here. Some of the things that I liked was the direction of the film and how the writer decided to go with an all-female Chilean black metal band, and I thought that was cool and it was pretty unique. You know, something that is not completely unheard of, but something that is not the norm. Also, the film being found footage really tied in nicely with what the story was about, as Ruth, the camera girl, was originally there to record BTS of the band, getting audio for their demo tape, and that's how they made sense of everything being filmed. And this is honestly a realistic situation. And it kind of hits home for me. I used to shoot bands all the time, and I had so much stupid footage of bands walking around and BTS content like this, so I could definitely relate to that part. You may or may not be surprised of some of the dumb shit that bands do when you're just walking around and recording them. However, like I said, the bad far outweighed the good here in my opinion. The movie felt less indie and more amateurish, and not in a good way. I think overall the writing was weak and led to a flimsy storyline, and that's honestly the film's biggest fault. And with the weak story, this led to 95% of the film being filler content and having to watch the actors walk around in circles in the woods and trying to act metal while giving the horns to the camera. There's only so many times I can see somebody doing this. Fucking annoying. Those are the worst type of metalheads to be around. And now the walking around bits, those lasted for nearly 50 minutes. Yeah, I said 50 minutes, with a sad attempt to set up the story which could have been done in maybe 15 or 20 minutes. The movie is another clear example of a filmmaker having some cool scenes in mind and then trying to fashion a story around it. And when that happens, that will always make for a weak plot. I know, I've done this myself and I've made some utter trash this way, so I know it when I see it. It's you have all these cool ideas and you're like, this would be a really cool scene. Now, how can I link all these cool ideas together? You know, it's sort of like putting the look of the movie before the story. It just never works. The acting overall wasn't bad, with Maria Marconi as the standout as Andrea, as she played a good villain, but again, I think she was limited by the story and could have really showed some range here had she been given better material to work with. Also, once you do finally hear the band's demo tape, it is the most god-awful sounding shit, even by black metal standards, that I have ever heard. It wouldn't have been hard to get a local or indie black metal band to let production use their music for the movie, and maybe do Chilean death metal justice instead of making it seem like a fucking joke. Granted, the music shouldn't have sounded great. Like I said, black metal, especially from that time period, was recorded terribly, but it also shouldn't have sounded like post-prison Varg either. So pretty much all around, I am disappointed in this film, and that's why I'm gonna rate it 1.5 out of 5 creeps. And in other words, for my black metal viewers out there, this is not true cult shit. But in all seriousness, unless you're just trying to watch it because you love black metal or because you're Chilean and you want to see how this filmmaker is doing your region justice, I would give it a hard pass, especially if you have to pay to see it. So, don't forget to let me know how many creeps you would rate Invoking Yell down in the comments, and let me know what your favorite death metal or metal horror film is down in the comments as well. Also, don't forget to check out the description for cool ways to help support the Cinema Creep channel, and don't be a chud. And like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more killer content here from the Cinema Creep channel. And as always, I'm Drucifer, this is Cinema Creep, stay creepy, and I will see you on the next one.